We're going to check in with Channel 4's John Gaughan. He is in Empire Point right now. John.
And again, if you don't know where Empire Point is, we're just off Atlantic Boulevard, about a mile away from the station. So my trip down here, it's between University and getting back toward Beach Boulevard, if you're still trying to imagine where it is. No lights working near Episcopal High School. So once again, going down Atlantic, there's more and more traffic out there on the streets, but no lights are operating, which means traffic, well, I just want to warn you folks that when we're driving down the street, we saw one person just keep on going right through the intersection, meaning he was cutting through the main flow traffic, and that's scary. It was scary for us. This is where we're at, Empire Point. The damage here, very extensive. We're looking at about 6 trees in just this one little area. And check out what they have done here. This is what happened. All these police in the middle of the night, they send in what I would call a shake and bake crew. They literally go in here and shake up the trees, cut everything down, and make everything nice and just passable. Here comes a car, Randy, and watch out behind you there, Jim. As again, what we have is traffic coming back as people are trying to get back into their daily routine and at least see the damage. I see a lot of folks just kind of walking around and riding their bikes. It seems like the safer way of going about it. And again, as this car is going underneath this is pretty dramatic looking. And I just want to illustrate to the fact that as you saw that tree branch here, let me show you, Randy, what they did here to hold this tree up. They actually cut out one of the trunk pieces, if you will, just to leverage it up and to kind of support the tree now that it's kind of leaning down on the ground. All right, a little more on the details here, that it is pretty impressive. These are all leaning towards the southeast. And what that is telling me is that these trees came down after the storm had gone through. It looks like another car is coming through. Jim, you want to grab that cable? There we go. And again, what we're seeing here is just people trying to get back into the daily routine. Now, here's another example of how these big rains in the nor'easter kind of set us up. If you can see here, this large tree just coming down. I don't think this actually took out the other 2-3 trees that we saw. Hey, Randy, can you make it all the way out here? You can just see the size of the base of this tree. It's just ridiculous. I'll stand in front of it. I'm about 5'10", and I'm standing up, so this is about 6 feet. And you can see here the enormity of this tree coming down. All of this is soaking wet. This is soaking wet soil. And again, that's from the nor'easter that really kicked it all off. We saturated the ground. We kicked in those big winds. Those big winds changed direction. And these all came down after the rain had basically fizzled out and slowed down. And if you look back behind me, Randy, there's yet another tree here. Now, down this road, we can't see it from here because this part of the street is blocked off. But I was talking to one of the other photographers here, and he was telling me that one of the other houses down there, and this is getting pretty close to the river, has a very large tree down on the corner of the house, and we'll hope to get to show you some of that coming up here in a little bit. So again, we're in Empire Point, Atlantic Boulevard. I would say it's very scattered type of damage across the area. At least here closer to the downtown on the South Metro area. But it's still very pronounced. And one more kind of look here. See the power lines? Now, the power lines are the very top ones. I don't know if we've discussed this. Randy, if you could come closer to me, I just want to kind of let everybody see this. But you can see these little metal pieces at the very top of this power pole. That's the power line. You can see they've cut the lines here. There's two going this way out, and you can see the left one's been snapped. So again, JEA is trying to do its best just to kind of make things safe, and they've basically taken down this particular neighborhood off the grid until they can get this area cleaned up. The lower lines that you see are cable lines and some other things that I'm not even sure of. I'll find the expert. Maybe here's one right here. Jim Piggott's got some more information. And what were you searching out here this morning and this afternoon?
John, I've been following. Well, we left the EOC after they gave us all of the information of what's going to be happening with your power, everything to that nature. So we've been down. We followed actually some JEA crews. They've been working trying to get this. And power is actually coming back up. Good thing for a lot of people there on the south side. Crews are scattered all over. We saw where they were dispatching many of them out. But, you know, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing down lines. And then we were in some areas over off Spring Park Road.
Sure.
That was a flooded area, actually, where some water came in. One woman took us inside her beauty salon and showed us where the water came up, I'd say about 5 inches.
Wow.
Had some problems there. She was able to clean it all out, that type of thing, and take care of that and take care. And she was happy about that they were able to get that. And we've been seeing people, as you mentioned, hitting the roads, just on the, at the stops when the lights are out.
Right.
Treat it as a four-way stop.
Right, and they're not. And that's the crazy thing. Again, you're on Atlantic Boulevard. You figured you got free reign. Hey, no lights. I might get to work in about 4 minutes. But the reality of it is there are people sitting at the intersection. They're waiting to take their turn to come in, and they see you, and they may take a chance and try to gun it out into the intersection. So it is actually very dangerous to be out there on the roads. You'll be fine and dandy most of the trip, and then all of a sudden one of these scares come along.
Hey, and I did want to point out at EOC and what we've seen here with all of this damage, the trees around, they're talking about that. They have these crews out now. They call them the toss or the cut and throw crews.
Oh, cut and throw. Okay, I'll call them shake and bake.
And throw it to the curb.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. And they want, if you're doing that, first off, they say, be careful. If you're doing this yourself, they will pick up the debris. They will eventually get to all of that. They haven't decided a line yet, but put it on the curb, and they'll suspend those rules that we have for that.
Right.
But they will eventually get to it, and it is going to take some time. But they have city crews out now assessing the damage that we're seeing here, trying to get things done. We came across one of those crews actually cutting some of the tree limbs, putting them in trucks, trying to get it done, and also pushing them to the side. They want to get the traffic going, and that's the main thing here.
As we saw with that tree down just around this little street here next door, they had to prop up one tree and cut out almost like a tunnel just so that cars could travel underneath it to get back and forth out of the neighborhoods.
And then people are going to be dealing with insurance companies today. That's what's happening now too. I've got to deal with insurance companies
I do too.
myself.
Yeah.
But so if you have a tree down, call them now. Don't fix this yourself. You're going to see a lot of people come knocking on your doors saying, hey, I can cut your tree down. If you're going to do that, check for the license, check all that, because that's...
And let me tell you, Jim Piggott will sniff that guy out. So if you're thinking about not being a good, worthy business owner and taking care of your clients, Jim Piggott's going to find you and make you pay.
You're going to find them. They were out last night.
Trying to hustle.
Already. So I mean, some are legit. Most are legit.
Right.
But you got to be careful, and they're going to be trying.
Make the fast buck,
But this is the thing now. I mean, this road's blocked. It's going to be blocked for a while.
So in this case, from what you know, the city of Jacksonville will have to come out.
Public Works, and they will do that and put it to the side. That's what they'll do.
Very good. Okay, so Jim Piggott, thank you very much. And again, as we just kind of glanced, we're at Empire Point, just off Atlantic Boulevard, just south or just east of Episcopal. And again, neighborhood. One neighborhood, great, no worries, some leaves on the street. But again, back to Jen and Bruce, some streets, it's really a disaster. I mean, these folks are going to be without power for a while for sure.